No, they don't. Welcome back to the Spoiler Party, episode number 95. I never thought we'd make it this far, Chris.
I knew we would.
You're very optimistic,
Yes.
just as much as that lady was optimistic about battery-powered candles. They look like the real thing.
Yeah, but they murder a lot of the planet.
With the battery ones?
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't done a side-by-side comparison. Candles are for women.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm going to go home and light a bunch of candles and have a nice soak in the tub.
That sounds
Electric
very relaxing.
candles.
Electric candles.
Yeah.
Throw them right in the tub with you.
Yeah.
We have one more movie to review for you, and that is There's Someone Inside Your House.
There's someone inside your vagina. Is what I said.
I didn't see that one.
It's what I said to your mom when you were being born.
This movie stars Sydney Park, who you may or may not know from several seasons of The Walking Dead, where she played an adult 30-something-year-old woman. But here we are several years later, and she's playing a teenage girl in high school.
It makes sense.
Jap don't crack.
In real life, she is somewhere in the middle of all that.
Okay.
Born on Halloween, Tom.
Oh, and this movie is right up her alley. A straight-to-streaming Halloween. What's so funny about that?
That's what's up your alley. If you were born on Halloween.
Straight-to-streaming horror film released in October for the Halloween month. I did see that Hulu is releasing some more of those fun-size shorts. I know a couple years back we were big fans of The Rizzle.
I don't remember it.
That was the one where the girl watches the YouTube video of the old school guy doing the dance, and then she does it, and it has to be the one stuck in the old tiny black and white video. That was my favorite dance of all time.
Demonstrate for the live stream.
I don't recall how it goes. We'll have to do that next week. Maybe with some more advanced video technology, where we can actually show you the video as well as do the dance ourselves.
What does Ria No mean?
I believe you're looking at a mirror image.
Is that how it shows up on YouTube?
No.
Why not? Why wouldn't it show us exactly how it's going to show on YouTube?
I don't know, man.
Get this shit sorted out.
I've been trying.
Confusing everybody.
If that was the case, wouldn't we be on opposite sides?
We should.
I thought for a second I might have had it turned around. Well, this movie, There's Someone Inside Your House, it takes place in a Nebraska high school where a killer is after their fellow students, and he is intent, or she, we don't know who the killer is just yet, they're intent on exposing the other students' darkest secrets to the entire town and terrorizing victims while wearing a lifelike mask of each of the victims' face before he kills them, which I feel it might creep the person out that you're about to kill, but no one else is going to see it except the victim, and they're dead. No one's going to be like, oh my God, the guy who killed me looked just like me.
He's making a statement as a killer, man. Like, this is you. You're the actual killer. You killed yourself. It's like
That's
when
a
your
good
brother
statement.
used
I like
to, your older brother would just hit you with your own fist, and he said, "I'm not hitting you."
Yeah, stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. And well, this you said that this movie kind of reminded you of a Scream.
Scream ripoff,
Yeah,
to be specific. I know what you did last summer, right? Didn't Scream start all those out?
yeah.
Where you can kind of self-reference, and mock your own.
Not their own film. All the
yeah.
horror tropes that you that are already established in the world of horror movies.
Yeah, because we're so over it, man.
And I was not looking forward to watching this film because I thought it was going to be a whole bunch of woke nonsense. Because the film's main cast is a group of outcasts, if you will. You've got
How so?
you've got Makani. She's kind of the leader of the pack. She's a recent transfer from Hawaii. You've got
One of the greatest presidents of the United States was from Hawaii.
I believe you're thinking of South Africa or Kenya, Libya, some African nation.
I don't know.
And then you have Alexandra, the only black person in the whole school. Then you've got Darby, who is one of those transgenderist people who likes to decide what gender they are as soon as they wake up in the morning. Then you've also got the Ali, the real quiet school shooter type.
Were you upset? Did it trigger you, Tom, that some of the white faces were further down the line, further down the cast list? I see plenty of white faces on here.
Well, it does take place in a mostly white high school, and it seemed like all the minorities.
Where at? What city?
It was a city in Nebraska.
Okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah, where they were having the Corn in the USA festival.
That's corny.
Also part of this.
Stop it, Nebraska.
this
Go be around people.
This ragtag group of kids was Zach Sanford.
Why are they ragtag, Tom?
They're like the outcasts of the school. Like they
What did they do to make them outcasts besides being born to a different race
or a
or
different
a different gender than their genitals?
or being a school shooter type, or being the son of the richest man.
Who's the school shooter? Ali?
Yep.
Why? Because he's a small kid. He doesn't have big muscles.
Yep. Didn't play football. Real quiet. Everyone called him a creep, stalker, and they originally thought that he was the one killing all the students. Then you got Zach Sanford. His dad pretty much owns all the farmland in the city, and the reason he was an outcast is because all these other kids' parents lost their farm and had to sell to his dad.
His dad works for Monsanto.
He runs Sanford and Son Family Farms, and they also have a football player in their midst. That's Caleb, and the reason he gets shunned to the outcast
He
is
sounds
because,
like a white boy.
it turns out that he's a homosexual, and he gets shunned by the rest of the football team. And it turns out the first person to get killed at the very beginning of the film is one of the football players. And it's a football player who beat the shit out of the gay football player Caleb so badly that he had to go to the hospital. So the killer.
Caleb did it. He's the killer.
That's what I thought at first. That's what some of the school thought at first. This film had you guessing. You didn't really know who. We forgot about Rodrigo.
Rodrigo did it.
No, Rodrigo was part of the ragtag. He was Hispanic, so you got all your races covered. You got your Hawaiian Asian. You got your black. You got your
Pacific Islander.
Latinx. You've got your transgenderism.
Is that a Kleenex from
You've got your
Latin America?
You've got your
Latinx.
school shooter, you've got the rich kid that has been shunned by the rest of the school because he's too rich, and you've got your gay. So you've got them all covered. I thought this was going to be all woke about these kids, but these kids didn't give a fuck about their differences. They're just like, yeah, it is what it is.
They were all kids, Tom.
It's like
So in a way,
you go out into
they
the
were
real
all the
world.
same.
There's not a race war out in the real world. People deal with other races and other people that are different from them on a daily basis, and there isn't this problem that the corporate media is trying to push their agenda that everyone hates each other. We're all divided, and that's just not the case.
But it was the case in this film.
Yes,
They all hated each other.
and
They all wanted each other dead.
yeah, they all had secrets. And this killer was hell-bent on exposing these secrets. For being as feared as he was, he didn't have that high of a body count. First kid that he killed, the football player, like we said, who beat up the gay kid. And then he goes for his next victim. It's the valedictorian head cheerleader of the school. And, she's all prim and proper.
Stacy
That would be
or Haley? Katie Coons.
Yeah, Katie Coons. And she helps out. She volunteers at the church every week, and you know what? There's so much good about her. You got to think she has to have a secret, and it is revealed that she has
Lesbian.
even worse. No, it's definitely not as worse. She has an anonymous
penis.
an anonymous podcast that's called The White Rush, which is all about white supremacy and how other races are stupider than whites. And it's just scientifically fact. That's what they said in the movie. That's not me saying that. I might agree with it, but that's a different story for another time. So she gets outed, and I also just want to say her secret podcast is my new favorite podcast. If she wasn't dead, I would invite her to be on the MSC network. The White Rush podcast.
Sounds lame.
So she gets killed in the church, and for quite a while, those are the only two victims. They closed the school for a month, and the
Hose it down. You gotta hose it down
Mm-hmm.
after someone dies in there due to COVID. You don't want all that COVID getting spread.
And no one gets attacked again until Rodrigo at a party, where it turns out he has a secret that no one knew about. He had
He played backpack in the Dora the Explorer.
it turns out he had George Floyd syndrome. Means he was
He was a victim of
addicted
police
to
violence.
fentanyl.
Oh.
And just like George Floyd, he was killed by a fentanyl overdose.
Strangled by a police officer live on camera.
Strangled, yeah, with the knee on the middle of his back. That strangled him. After he took 3 times the fatal dosage of fentanyl. Yep, that's what killed him. But
We have deep-seated issues, Tom, that you need to confront.
but the killer,
I don't know what that has to do with a movie about teenagers in Nebraska, but anytime Tom sees non-white faces, it really upsets him.
yeah, it's not true at all. And the killer grabs Rodrigo at this party after the other person's secret, Alexandra. Her secret was announced to everybody that she had a crush on Rodrigo. And they get down and dirty, and right after that, the typical horror film trope, after someone knocks boots, that's what the kids call it nowadays, right?
Nobody says that now.
Rodrigo gets trapped by the killer, and the killer dumps a whole bottle of fentanyl pills down his throat. and that's what kills him.
You don't even need like a lot of that stuff, Tom.
No.
So I feel like he wasted some of his murderous fentanyl.
Well, with
George,
George,
he could have killed a lot. His body count could have been a lot higher.
yeah, with George Floyd dead, he had a surplus of fentanyl pills that no one was using anymore. Now, there was a little bit of a side story with McConaughey's grandmother, to where she was sleepwalking, and she would get out of bed, and McConaughey had attached a string of bells to her bedroom door, so every time she would hear the bells ring, she knew that her grandmother was sleepwalking. So I automatically jumped to the conclusion that the grandmother was going to be the killer, and it was going to be, she was doing it while she was sleepwalking. And of course she knows everyone's secrets in the film, because that's what Gam Gam does. She knows everything about everybody. She's got her nose up in everyone's business in town. Small town like that, she's been peeping out of her windows for 35 years.
She probably spends 35 minutes talking to the cashier at Drug Mart.
Yeah, so there's no way she could have been the killer.
That's how she gets the scoop on everybody.
Yeah, it really did have me guessing for a while. I thought maybe Father Sanford, who ran the Sanford and Son Farms, I thought he was going to be the killer. I thought even for a split second that McConaughey was going to end up being the killer, because her secret was unveiled to everyone, that when she was in Hawaii during a hazing ritual, she pushed one of her fellow swim team members into
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson
into a bonfire, causing third-degree burns over a majority of that poor girl's body. So she had to change her name and move to the middle of the country, where no one would ask questions.
Why? Because she fit in so well. She was,
Yep.
looked like everybody else, dressed like everybody else.
And there was also the other movie trope that the police were extremely incompetent. They bring all the students in and they're interviewing them, and they're not doing a good job with the interview, especially with the kids who know more than they're letting on. And then the deputy's like, it's pretty clear what's going on here. You're a good student and you're not doing anything wrong. When obviously they had secrets to hide. And the one officer, when he's after he's done interviewing a kid, he comes out into the lobby. There's only a few kids left to talk to, and he's like, "Yeah, did anyone see one of the students walk out with my taser?" And then, sure enough, at the next killing, the killer uses a taser to subdue his victim.
So he's a good pickpocket.
Yeah. And at one point, after McConaughey gets attacked, she gets attacked with the taser. And this is after she was riding in the car with Ollie, and she opened up his glove box and saw the taser in there. So she did the next best thing, closed it, didn't say anything, pretended she didn't see it.
I think we have a clip of that
Good strategy, right?
somewhere. Not yet, but
But where she found the taser, or when she got hit with it?
I picked the wrong one.
The wrong clip.
Yeah,
There was multiple people hit with a taser, so I can understand why you would pick the wrong one. Is that it?
Damn it. Everything's on a delay. Here she is getting arrested. She's resisting arrest.
Mhm.
Other police officers are coming in. Nobody's helping her. It's the whole damn clip too. All right, get to the catchphrase, damn it. You're killing this podcast like these police are killing you right now. All right. Now we're getting some.
The crowd's egging them on. Do it now!
Yeah. White people really do get a lot of leeway when interactions with police. Because you're white. Free speech is never free, is it? There it is. Jesus Christ.
4 minutes in.
Yeah.
You think it hurt when he got tased?
No. That's funny. He was crying like a little bitch. But then when the black men get tased by the police, they're always like, he was walking away still. So it must not have hurt. Seemed like it hurt that little white boy in the Florida school.
Well, after McConaughey gets tased, bro, and she gets, unfortunately, fortunately, I should say, she survives. Because
Freudian slip by Tom.
Yeah, I meant nothing by it. I make mistakes all the time. It's simple
He
slip of the
hates-
tongue.
He hates all Pacific Islander.
Oh man, I loved her in The Walking Dead. She was one of my faves.
Mm.
You'll never guess. I would put $100 bill on this table if and let you take it if you could guess my favorite actress on The Walking Dead. In the whole series. Are you familiar with the show?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was the baby.
Judith?
Yeah.
No. You lose $100.
Ah,
It's Michonne.
Michonne.
Oh yeah.
My chode.
Yeah. Sexy as hell with that samurai sword and those pullable dreadlocks. I like that. Well, anyways, back to
That's the racist slave master fetish that he has.
you get to sleep in the house tonight, girl. McConaughey survives, and then she's convinced that it's Ali that tried to kill her, and that he is the killer because she saw the taser in his glove box. The officer obviously had the taser pickpocketed, and that's what the killer's using. So she tells everyone, she tells the police it was Ali. He gets arrested, and everyone thinks they're in the free and clear. So they do exactly what they shouldn't do, and they arrange that whole Corn in the USA festival with the Harvest Fest and the corn maze that you can walk through that a killer could easily disguise himself.
I'm sorry, Nebraska, that you guys have to put yourselves through that kind of stuff.
What, corn mazes?
Yes.
We have them here in Ohio.
Ugh.
Well, you don't go to them on a regular basis?
I'll go outside of the Cleveland, Northeast Ohio area.
There's all kinds of harvest festivals around this time of year. You don't go to a pumpkin patch
No.
and pick your own pumpkin?
No.
All right, you're missing out.
I go to the supermarket and they have a whole bucket of them. I get electric pumpkins. I order them from Tesla. They make them.
Oh, all right.
They're better for the environment.
And they only cost 10,000 times as much as a regular pumpkin.
I'm saving the planet.
Yeah,
It's worth
so
it.
you don't have a rotten pumpkin just wasting away on your doorstep, and then it's snowing in the middle of December, and that rotten pumpkin's still just sitting there.
Yeah.
I used to see that all the time.
The
delivering
carbon
food.
footprint it takes to make those is equivalent to
To,
the
planting
entire
one seed.
history of the coal industry.
Well, they're going to have this festival.
184 million megatons of coal to make one electric pumpkin. But it's good forever, man. They last forever. Just plug them in.
Yeah, and even when you don't want them anymore, you throw them in a landfill and they'll still last forever.
Yeah.
So they have this Corn in the USA Fest. And
I love how we're gonna save this planet. Our plans to save the planet just end up digging a deeper hole.
We should do what they did in Idiocracy and make the mountains of the garbage.
Yeah.
That sounds a lot more sustainable.
I wrote a
Or didn't they shoot a bunch of garbage into space on Futurama?
I sent a tweet to Elon Musk because he's the only one who's working on this situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him if he could cut down the entire rainforest and just replace it with an electric one that we can recharge.
That makes a lot of sense.
I think it's going to help the planet.
And
Because there's
You
too
know-
much rain. You see how it was flooding in New York in the subways?
yeah, and then just because it's nighttime doesn't mean you have to light the trees up.
Yeah,
You can keep them off
right. And if
all
we
the time.
if we had an electric rainforest, we can control the amount of rain that we put out, so that New York subways wouldn't flood. It makes sense on paper. I haven't worked out all the logistics. That's why I sent it to him, because I think he'll figure it out. I haven't heard back from him yet.
Well, keep me posted.
Yep.
Until then, we'll get back to there's someone inside the house. And as right
Someone
before,
inside your coochie hole.
right as Makani's getting ready to go to the Corn in the USA Festival, she finds out that due to lack of evidence, Ollie has been released from jail. And as she's waiting for her ride, who pulls up? But it's Ollie. So she goes running away, and she happens to run into the gay football player in the school as she's running away from Ollie. And she's like, oh, she gives him a big hug. She's like, oh, I'm so glad that I ran into you. And as soon as she gives him a big hug, something unexpected happens.
He got
for
a
the gay
boner.
guy. You would think that would be unexpected for a gay guy. But he gets stabbed through the gut from behind. Now, how is this possible if Ollie is running up from the other way?
Cured his gayness. That's what they do in Nebraska.
He's stabbed right through her clothing with his hard pecker. Once he got the touch of an attractive female, it's like, whoa, what the hell was I thinking? I must have been born wrong.
Maybe he's both, Tom.
I heard that's a thing.
There's a whole spectrum of things.
Yeah, and if you feel like you're on the spectrum of things, you're definitely on the spectrum, that's for sure. I'm saying they're retarded.
I couldn't figure out what you were trying to get at. You're going to get canceled like Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. But then again,
Did you watch the special?
not yet. I haven't really been big on his comedy.
Why not? Ever?
I wouldn't say ever, but I never really liked his stand-up specials. Like even the ones that he had before Chappelle's show, the ones that he had right after Chappelle's show.
Those were some of the best of all time.
I was always fine with his sketch comedy and like his movie roles and stuff like that, but yeah, not my thing. Well, Makani comes to realize that, oh, hey, it isn't Ollie who's the killer, and it's somebody else. And this killer is headed right for Corn in the USA.
Oh, shit. Lock up your farmer's daughters.
Well, as they're making their way to the festival to try and warn everybody, we see a masked figure pouring a single can of lighter fluid that you get at the gas station before you go to a barbecue all throughout the corn maze. And it must have been some really dry corn because it lit up in a hurry.
And the climate crisis affects all of us, Tom.
Yeah, all it takes is
all through the heartland.
yeah, it just takes one gender reveal party, and you got a whole Redwoods National Forest up in flames.
One shaman trying to boil her bear urine, and there you go.
So they take the car and drive right through the fire-infested corn maze, looking for their fellow students and their friends who were in there. And they called up.
And when all the corn burns down, the children of the corn come out, and then this movie gets really interesting, right?
You saw a different movie. They help the other football players and other students get out. Along the way, they see a few of them got stabbed in the process, like all the private security got killed, some of the football players. And
Does the actual killer have a scene where he explains all his motivations so that we don't have to guess what the real motive of the killer was?
you are in luck, Chris.
Yay!
Because this happens to
That's-
a T.
That is my favorite trope in teenage horror films. Where the part where the Scooby-Doo part where they rip off the mask and he says, and I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you damn kids. Because this is why I was doing it, in case you couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, their buddy Zach Sanford, who is the Sanford son, he got stuck working at the corn maze because his father owns all that property, and they call him up and say, hey, what the hell's going on over there? You get the killer's going to be there, and he's like, oh, I can't leave. I got to go find my father. He's lost somewhere out there. And the whole movie, he's talking about how much he hated his father and wished he was dead, and his father gave him all this privilege that he didn't want, and he didn't want to be the rich kid. He didn't want to have to drive a nice vehicle and be the scourge of the school because his father, I'm not going to say stole all the land. He's not Christopher Columbus, but his father bought up all the land that these people couldn't afford anymore. And turns out Zach is the killer. They see the masked man who is dressed just like Papa Sanford. Fred, I believe his name was.
He's credited as Mr. on his
Mr.
IMDb page.
Mr. Fred Sanford.
Mr. Sanford and Son.
And there's the confrontation between the two, and they get interrupted by Makani and Ali, who stops them like right in the middle of a battle, I guess. They're having an argument. He's being held at knife point. And then he just, after they get interrupted, the father gets distracted, so he stabs the father right through the head with his sword.
Pork
Mini
sword.
Yeah.
His miniature pork sword.
And
You didn't have to blow up the spot like that, Tom.
And that's when he got all disgruntled, took his mask off and revealed himself to be the rich white kid and laid out his whole story. He said, I was planning this for so long. I wanted to see the look in my father's eyes and have him crying as he found out that I was going to kill him. And then he lays his attention to Ali and Makani, stabs Ali right through the stomach, and then he tells Makani, he's like, you know what? You're the dark-skinned girl, and you've almost killed somebody in a fire before. So I'm going to kill you and then blame all this on you. That's a good plan in my eyes.
And did it work?
No, it didn't. Because Ali wasn't quite dead yet. So he distracted Zach just long enough that Makani could get the knife and stab Zach right in the chest. but she had some final words for him. I'm not going to quote verbatim because I'll fuck it up, but it was along the lines of, oh, you think just because you had everything handed to you, you're the victim? That seems about right. And
So
she,
woke, man. All these woke catchphrases.
and she even said, I don't need to wear a mask for you to see exactly who you are.
Got him.
Fucking burn. And that's where we leave it.
Thank God.
She she kills him, and the rest of the students go on to graduate. And based on the montage at the very end,
Happy, healthy, successful lives.
yep, they all get into their college of their choosing,
Of course.
and
Except for the black girl, right?
she got into the school of music, probably hip hop music. It didn't specify. Although on her laptop she had a sticker that was very similar to this middle one that I got, a Bud Leaf, and then she had a Sublime sticker at the bottom.
Sublime is not hip hop. I don't know. Maybe it is.
Well, I'd say
It's a
more
blend
like ska reggae.
somewhere in there.
Yeah. Very weird that a teenage girl in today's day and age would be listening to Sublime.
That's because
You
that's
know-
when all the real music died after that decade. For some
After
reason.
Bradley Noel died. Well, Sublime is timeless. Right?
I think that stupid video game Guitar Hero killed it.
What killed music?
Yeah, nobody wants to play those kind of instruments and have fun. They just want to be on social media arguing with each other over who's the better person.
That's the place to be nowadays.
Yeah. Go pick up an instrument. Go entertain us. We're putting on these hour-long podcasts to entertain you. Entertain me.
Yeah, you know what you can do? You can go out
Use-
to an open mic, grab a mic, and tell some jokes for 5 minutes
Do that.
In front of some people.
Yes, do that.
Are you going to be doing that this week?
I am definitely going to be doing that this
Where
week.
can people see you?
Oh, wherever open mics are abound. TikTok Tavern, Lakewood Village Tavern. So many taverns. Hatfield's Good Grub Tavern. I don't
Are
know if
you,
it's a tavern.
Are you going to be going to what's his face? Dave Chappelle's new club that he's opening in Ohio.
Yes, I would love to do that.
I've been working on some new jokes.
Okay.
You want,
Yes,
you want to hear one?
absolutely.
All right. Well, I've been real itchy lately, and I just I've been scratching like crazy, and it's all because of mosquito bites. If you don't know, mosquito bites is the name that we gave to my buddy's little sister. And I'm sure you know why we call her that.
I don't.
She's got big bug eyes. Looks like a mosquito. Also, she has small tits.
Perfect.
You want to hear another one?
It needs more. Yes, that needs more context.
All right. The London Zoo just came out saying that back when they first opened up in the 1700s, if you wanted to gain entry into the zoo, you had to bring a stray cat that you would then feed to the lions. And that's how you would get admission at the zoo. And you know what? That doesn't seem all that old-fashioned to me, because I had to do the same thing when I went to the dog fights. No, you don't.
You got to get up on stage and let the crowd decide, Tom. I'm not your best audience. Not your target demographic.
I guess not. I'll continue to work on
It
it.
takes people who are into comedy. It takes a different skill to make them laugh. than it would a regular.
Yeah, first you got to get their attention, and it's like, hey, raped as a child. And they're like, what? Oh. All right, and Chris, where can people find you online? I'm sure you promote all your gigs there.
Oh yeah. Nobody in this area follows me online. At Kim Moore for Less on Twitter or Instagram.
All right, and if you want to find me on social media, Twitter and Instagram at Von Erich. Also now on Getter, Gettr at Von Erich.
Is that for rapists? Back alley rapists? Is that a place that they can get together and find
No, it's just
find potential victims? You can share where potential victims might be with other rapists.
It's just a social media platform similar to Twitter, but your speech isn't censored.
I like having mine censored.
I like making a post and then changing words out and putting what they want to say.
Yes.
All right, and also check out all the other great programming we have here on the network. Sports Balls Radio, that'll be on Wednesday night. Everything in between, every single week. And of course, Uncensored Net Noise on Friday nights. Check us out on social media, Morning Show Central Cleveland on Facebook, and YouTube. Everything is now falling under the Everything in Between umbrella temporarily. So just search Everything in Between Radio and you'll find all the shows are going to be on that channel temporarily until we are able to either claim the old MSC Network YouTube or we just start a new one. I don't know what's going on. I've asked the boss for the password and he's like, oh yeah, I'll get that for you. And that was the last I heard.
He's got to clean up a bunch of stuff like Mark Facebook or whatever his name is.
Oh yeah, change all the algorithms.
Yeah.
Because before it was set up to where they would only show you stuff that would get you angry. But now they're showing you your friends' stuff and all that. It's like, oh yeah.
I think he was hiding some stuff from the January 6th insurrection. Incitement. They incited it on Facebook.
Yeah, the insurrection where they were let in by security and then they continued to walk through the velvet ropes, not outside of them.
With full erections. These sickos. Full political erections they had.
It definitely wasn't an insurrection when they were trying to swear in Justice Kavanaugh and all the women broke in.
Cavendish, that's who it is. He's the Supreme Court Justice, and he made that first film.
Yes, he was the executive producer of No One Gets Out Alive. Or no, he was just a producer. And he was the executive producer on Venom, Let There Be Carnage, directed by Andy Serkis. And Andy Serkis was the executive producer on No One Gets Out Alive. Are you confused yet? Because I sure am.
Nobody cares. All right, let's go get out of here alive and go get some circus peanuts.
All right, next week, Halloween Kills.
Show does.
And we'll be talking about
So does
that.
Crack.
And probably some other film, unless we just talk about Halloween for an hour. But
We'll probably talk about yogurt. Activia.
Oh yeah. If you want your bowels to be regular, you can get some poop yogurt from Jamie Lee Curtis, who was in Halloween Kills, which we will be talking about next week on the Spoiler Party.
Boop.